Yo, this Love and Culture, episode 6. What's up, Gioli?
What's up?
Yeah, so start it off.
What you mean started off?
What's our first topic?
We just jumping right into topics?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you how you was doing, but
I'm doing good.
alright.
I'm doing real good,
Yeah. But
I'm just, staying alive, staying black. I don't
think you have a choice. Either one of those things.
What you trying to say? Was that a dark skin joke? I feel like that was a dark skin
Where
joke.
the fuck you get that from?
I don't know. You said I don't have a choice. I said staying black. You said I don't have a choice.
Oh, I get it. No,
No,
it wasn't it.
You
wasn't
been
it.
got it.
Brown skin for the win. Me. Do you lose?
Are you dark skin or you light skin? Tell the world.
I'm brown skin.
Brown skin.
I'm in the middle.
You in the middle. So you caramel.
You said I'm caramel.
You butterscotch.
All right. Well, it is what it is.
What am I?
Come on. That's ridiculous.
Brown skin? Dark skin?
You're super dark.
I gotta be super?
Yeah.
Why can't I just be dark skin? Why I have to be super? What do super mean?
Darker than you have to be dark already.
That's a fact. I'm a proud chocolatier.
You ain't sound like it.
Yeah, I'm a proud chocolatier. Shout out to us, chocolate skin for the win.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about this whole thing. That saying, do you lose them how you get them? Right?
Yeah.
That was the question, because I remember back in the day, if you got your dude or your girl under a circumstance where, let's say, he had somebody.
Yeah.
You ain't care.
Yeah.
You took him from his girl. Is that how you end up losing him? The same way?
So you're asking me, if you get with somebody, how you got them, is that the same way you're going to break up with them?
Yeah.
That's what the saying is.
Like, kind of like on some karmic type of shit. Or even if you say karma out the shit, is it just logical that you get you a nigga that, willing to do that to some other chick that I guess 9 times out of 10 that'll be how you lose them too.
But why? I don't get it. Why? First of all, why are we thinking about losing people? Second of all, why do it gotta be a bad thing when you say it? Like, why you can't lose them how you get them? Far as you met them at the library, you lose them at the library. Why is it always like negative with that?
I think because they try to push people to stay away from doing shit that they wouldn't want to have happen to them. Like, if you wouldn't want nobody to treat you that way, don't do that. Because imagine if you was on the other side. And then if it do happen to you, then you got to think back and be like, damn, that's how, you know what I'm saying, I got him.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I think you do, though. All in all, because I for instance, like, I don't really want to go into my personal life all the time on here. But
be real, keep it real.
Nah. I had a situation where I was dealing with somebody, and they was dealing with somebody. I was
Did that? No
stop playing.
Judgment.
I was side guy number 1. I believe side guy number 1. Might
How
have been
many
number 2.
side guys did she have?
I don't know. I'm just saying she had one side guy. She could have had a lot.
Okay.
So I was side guy number 1. And when it was all said and done, she wanted to like try to get with me. And I already knew if I go into this, I'm gonna be the fool if it come out that she cheating on me and leaving me for the, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
For the next guy. So
the thing is, can you really trust somebody who without a doubt that, he's the nigga that does that? Or do you look at yourself as special and say, well, he had good reason to because it was for me?
what's the question?
Can you trust somebody who is willing to do that? Lead a person to
No, that's why I didn't do it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Hell no. And and she was cool. Like, she was real cool. I kind of wanted to, but the player in me was just like, you can't really do that. You already know that's against player rules. So, what you think?
I will say I've definitely heard of a lot of couples that are successful and have had long relationships and marriages who kind of met up together on some, not so cool situations. Like Remy Ma, Papoose, they always talking about black love and celebrating Black love. And I really like them as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, I think it was Lip Service, where in another place I seen it too, but she was talking about, Pat had a girl.
Yeah.
And she got him, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
forget the girl. Like, he mine now.
And Pap is the most loyal nigga on the planet, so.
Yeah, so even though he left the first John for her, and she took him from the girl, he ain't repeat the same type of behavior.
But I would think with that
and
thing.
they still together after all this time.
Facts. But I'm saying it might be better to be safe than sorry, then, because, like, how many papooses is it that have changed that pattern of behavior?
Right. I mean, now I do got a male friend who, he had a girl, or liked the girl. She had a husband. They used to sneak around with each other. She left the husband for him after like a year or two of being with this guy. That's my guy friend.
Mm.
Then they've been together now for the past couple years, which is cool, right? Like, oh, they made it after all this time.
Yeah.
But the problem is, he constantly don't trust her, and she's constantly, like, not constantly, but it's been a couple, she's done a couple cheating and sneaking behind his back, and found out that when she was leaving and going out of state, she really was with this dude or with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like she's still that sneaky kind of, from what he's explaining to me, he see her as that sneaky kind of girl that be with different guys.
Now, can it be that you had this in your mind because of how you met them? It's playing in your mind, and now they actually change, but the way you met them, you think, oh, they this type of person, so you got them pegged as doing this thing when they not actually doing it. Like, you met them when they said they was out of town on a road trip, but they had a man or something like that. Now when they out of town, you thinking they doing the same thing, but they actually not. Could that be the case with the person you talking about?
Now, it's not the case because the girl has apologized for doing it. Okay. But
Big ho.
huh? Nah, I mean, But yeah, so those type of situations do happen. I say too, better be safe than sorry, because I just don't want this type of karmic energy. I don't want that. I don't like that type of stuff. I don't know why people have to be with each other so quickly. Like, if you know somebody is involved, just give them some space. If you know you like them, give them some distance. And if situation don't work out, and give them more time.
Yeah.
And then maybe after it's been some time, then you come back to them and you let them know how you feel or how you've always felt about them. But you don't have to be with somebody who's in a, relationship and ain't involved. But I guess some people feel like I'm gonna take my shot.
I think another case of you lose them, how you get them, is like somebody that's kind of hard to penetrate. Pause, because they actually like focused on something else. So say like you got a really career driven, like Oprah type chick that you dealing with, and they was hard to get with in the first place because it's like they ain't really got time, not really interested, and then y'all get together. I think you eventually lose them to that career too, because you already know you come in second.
If we look at it in that perspective, we could look at that from just kind of those other angles where it's like, when it's warning signs and with people, and if you like kind of ignore those warning signs, you get with them anyway under that circumstance where they was kind of like whether it be a cheater or, like you said, just involved mostly in their work, or just kind of the person that's a little immature, not financially responsible, responsible. And then that's how you end up losing them because of those things.
Yep. Fact.
I think the bottom line, though, of what this really is that the beginning connects to the end, because whatever was happening in the beginning becomes a part of the end in terms of the story. You get what I'm saying? Like, it kind of just loops all the way around.
Yeah. I get that.
Like, I don't mean to cut you off, but I know, times when I broke up with somebody and I thought about why I was breaking up with them.
Yeah.
I've always realized that in the beginning, this shit was there.
Yeah.
Either I didn't pay attention to it, or I kind of said, it's alright, or whatever, or you thought the person had potential, or whatever it is. That shit always been
Well, don't you know how earlier we was talking about red flags? I think sometimes it's like not red flags, they probably yellow flags.
Right.
Where you just overlook them, and but that's why I tell you all the time, when me and you going through stuff and you looking at, and I'm looking at it, I'm saying, yo, I'm not looking at right now. You think I'm dealing with the issue at hand. I'm saying 10 years down the line, I'm not going to be dealing with this same issue. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't be thinking for the moment. I be thinking about, all right, if this is consistent or it get big. Like,
Yo, that shit be crazy. I be saying one thing like, yo, I don't like this, and you be like, yo, this shit, 10 years is gonna be a problem. I be like, what? Because I said I don't want to eat mac and cheese.
it don't be that simple. But yeah, I know. I get what you're saying, though, because I be getting your perspective. But I'm just thinking long term, can I take this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I be trying to spot little shit that's going to turn into big shit.
Right.
Because it always is. You know what I'm saying? It's no little shit in relationships. Is shit that's going to get dealt with immediately and the shit that's going to get dealt with eventually.
Now let's talk about you. You said you used to be a side nigga.
No, I said that was one situation.
Have you been a side nigga in several other situations?
Yes.
Okay. So I was curious because I never had one. What is that like? What do you do? So, like, is it just because you know she got a man? So do she let you know like, look, don't call me, I'll call you, or like only call me at certain times,
It depends on
or
how
do
they.
you just do text? Like, how does it go?
Yeah, no, it depends on how they want to set it up. Some girls is bold. Some girls will put you in the phone under a girl name. Some girls just literally keep erasing all the messages and just hope you don't come through at the wrong time. Some girls be like, nah, it's all good. Hit me up. You the homie or some shit like that. Or it depends on how they know they man. So however they can get around it, that's what they do. And I just be there, playing my part.
You just and do you come to their house? Do you meet up with not now, obviously, right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
But when you was a side nigga, you was at
Why you gotta say side nigga like that? There's like an emphasis on the nigga when you. It just sound good.
Wait, I put the emphasis on side nigga.
All right.
So when you was a side nigga, did you come to their house? Did you pick them up? Like how did that go?
Once again, it just depends. If you know homie about to be at work for 14 hours, that might be a go at your place.
Right.
Totally wrong. I'm out of pocket. I know if something happened, that's on me. But I'm just saying, if homie's at work for 14 hours, it's a go at your place. It might have to be a go at the park. Might have to be a go in the car. Might have to be a go at my crib. But it's gonna be a go somewhere, and she know where it could be a go at.
Did y'all have certain rules in place so that you wouldn't catch feelings or she wouldn't catch feelings? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that shit never works.
So they always caught feelings.
Let me tell you something. I had a girl tell me, yo, I'm not going, in my cheating days, I'm not going to tell your girlfriend nothing. We going to mess around. I know you got a girl. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? This was somebody I dealt with before. Like, they was actually my girl before. So I already knew something was up from them. But next thing I know, my girl's getting a call and, right. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk to her as a woman and all this other shit. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear that, I want to talk to you as a woman, that's awesome bullshit. You about to hear some bullshit.
Listen, if you ever got to talk to a woman as a woman, just look your woman ass in the mirror and just realize you bugging and just stop and cut the shit. Just leave the nigga alone and just leave them alone because he ain't going to stop anyway. You just stop. Just stop.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, it just always interested me, like, with this whole side. Did you ever feel, like, low? Like, I mean, no, like, or did it ever get to your self-esteem? Like, I'm just trying to imagine if I was a side piece.
Oh, no. See, it's different for guys and girls. I think dudes is totally fine with it, especially if they're getting what they want. It doesn't even matter. Like, it's like having a weight lifted off your shoulders. Like, I get to do whatever I want with this chick, and I don't got to worry about the shit he got to worry about. I don't got to worry about none of the nagging or none of the I don't gotta pay this bitch bills or nothing. Just all ass, and yeah, that's what it is.
That sounds terrible.
To you?
Yeah, I couldn't be nobody's side piece. I couldn't do it. I mean, I just feel like, me, I'm a Virgo. I'm the whole queen. I'm the fucking everything.
But I wouldn't expect a girl to want to be a side piece. Like, them girls that want to be side piece, they like special kind of girls. But there's a lot of dudes that would settle for that because they're not looking for nothing anyway.
Right. Right. That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about that. What is dudes looking for? What is dudes looking for when they trying to talk to? They don't even know. Females, or let me say that, women is already looking at this dude as a candidate or they got two categories: a potential candidate or I'm not fucking with you. Guys just do whatever. So we're not looking for nothing.
What be mostly about then? Just ass?
It depends on who you're dealing with. Yeah, you might see something and be like, yeah, that's just ass.
Wow. That's
Yo. Stop acting like I'm the first guy you ever talked to.
No, what you mean? It hasn't been many. That's
no, I'm saying, what?
It hasn't been many.
No, I'm just saying, like, on the, like, just talking level.
No, I'm just saying, I have.
You've had conversations with guys, and they've been guys.
I have just about all guy friends.
And they never talk like this.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
I'm just saying, when you really get into the actual what's happening in y'all minds, sometimes it's kind of like a little sad. Like, damn, like, just, this shit kind of sad. But, shout out to all the side niggas, man. You want to give a shout out to your previous
I think it's sad when I go by the motherfucking the store that I know is selling y'all some bullshit and y'all lined up around the corner for it. So that's when I feel sad for y'all.
You was sad for people for getting Popeyes.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about women specifically. Guys was getting Popeyes too. But anyway, we're not here to talk about you and being a side chick.
Stop playing.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
About that.
Yeah, but my man.
Yeah, let's talk about your man Kanye.
That's my man.
So
I really fuck with him.
Kanye got a new album out.
No, he don't.
Okay, it's about to come out eventually.
Maybe not.
Well, it's gonna come out. He's just doing his Kanye shit, tweaking shit, but it's coming out.
Is it though?
Yeah, I mean, but I was expecting this because he kept doing the Sunday service stuff. That was real popular. I could see he was getting in his little music bag, his real music bag, and then now we got this. I don't know if it's a gospel album or.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, what is it called? Jesus.
At least he said it was a gospel album.
Jesus the King. I don't know.
Jesus is. Damn, we should know this, right? Jesus is king. Jesus is king. Yeah.
So, how you feel about? Are you looking forward to a new Kanye album? And just what are your thoughts on Kanye the Genius?
You never gotta ask me if I'm looking forward to a new Kanye West album. The answer is always yes.
Yeah, I'm not always interested in Kanye. I haven't been interested in Kanye for the past couple of years, and it's not because of the comments and stuff like that that's been out in the media. It's just that I haven't been able to relate to him. Even his musical ear is to me been off, and so I just haven't been interested in anything he's been doing creatively or anything.
I think Pablo was 16 or 17. I think that was the best album he had put out at that point since 2005. So I'm still rocking with Kanye. I really, I believe in him. I think the joint with Kid Cudi, Ye wasn't that great, but the joint with Kid Cudi was better than that. And these is all recent. And like I said, he produced a classic album for Pusha T. He produced a dope album for Tiana Taylor. And I think he definitely still got it. When I hear them Sunday services, the little snippets they be giving us, the little,
those is crazy.
Yeah. So if he could do that 14 times, I might listen to a gospel album. But this is my thing with Kanye. Remember me and you were just talking about brands. I don't know what his brand is anymore. I don't know what he's actually even selling. It's like he's selling craziness or something.
You don't know what his brand is? He wouldn't be the creator brand. That's not obvious that he would be that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, he's also like, I don't know. He also like a jester. He's also like, I don't know. But
No, I
all
wouldn't
for
say
the
he's a jester because jesters live in a moment.
yes.
And I think he's always strategizing and thinking 20, 30 years in advance.
Okay. But what's interesting to him about me, I mean, interesting to me about
Even
him.
when he says he's living in a moment, it's still strategy of how can I create something that is going to be monumental 10, 15 years later. Maybe me being in the moment and creating something just kind of out of nowhere that's just like very free thinking style is going to create something that's classic. It's still future thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's cool. I want to get into how I don't know which side of the pole he's on though, because you got to think about this. His name of his album was what? The corny album. The corny album that made people's ears bleed. The shit was called Yeezus, which is a play on Jesus, right? So you come back with The Life of Pablo, right? Playing off of Pablo Escobar, like 3 Pablos, you know what I'm saying? He was just saying I'm Pablo, whatever. Then you come back with, remember, before Jesus is King, the album was supposed to be called Yandi, which is a play on Gandhi,
Of course.
right? So then you come left field with Jesus is King. I just wouldn't think the same person that called himself Jesus would turn around and say Jesus is King. It sounded like Jesus was a statement like, not against Jesus, but like, I'm Jesus level, or like, I'm a God, or things that, I mean, literally had a song called I Am a God. And then you come back with Jesus is King, and you're having like
I don't
church.
think that goes against it because he's been like that from the beginning with Jesus Walks. I think. Go ahead.
But that was before he went crazy.
Nah, but I don't know if that's going crazy or really putting yourself out there more with who you believe you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like just because you didn't express it didn't mean that you didn't always feel it. Is what I'm saying is I think for him those are not separate. I think he is a Christian. And we know that he's a Christian. He has a pastor. We know what church he goes to.
I don't
And
know.
stuff
None
like
of
that.
these Illuminati niggas is. I think they all just.
Yeah, so
we
he
don't
goes
know
to
none
a
of that.
church. He has a pastor, the same pastor that actually married him and what's her name? The girl, the white girl that everybody
Hobbit?
likes. Stop playing. Kim Kardashian. That's their actual pastor. He's actually a practicing Christian. So that's very real to him. Jesus Walks, and even though he compares himself to people that's in the Bible, or looks at himself as a very, high titled person, in
Stuff that Christians don't do.
right, but he still believes in Jesus and is a Christian person.
So what is he selling? What I'm saying is he selling bipolar? Is what I'm saying. Because at this point, it's just what it's coming off as.
No, I think that he's selling the creator brand, but also the hero brand. But I think he believes what makes himself a hero is that he's a creator.
That shit just made my hair hurt.
That he believes he's a hero because he's a creator?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about brand confusion.
Nah.
Because, like, I don't know if those two even mix well.
But I think the way that he talks about a Picasso or the way he talks about Steve Jobs, and these are people that he believes are heroes. Why would they not be heroes if what he values is innovation? If he values moving, like being a future forward thinker, creating technology, advancement, whether it be in fashion or music or whatever, those are the things that's changing the world. Those should be our heroes. They're the smartest of the bunch.
Yeah,
or the
depending on
most
what you call
creative,
smart, but yeah.
whatever, whether it be in art or whatever. So to him, that's hero shit.
So he thinks that Steve Jobs, one of his heroes, would be pulling these fucking antics. He thinks that Steve Jobs would be about to drop an iPhone and just be like, nope, we're not dropping an iPhone this week.
If you asking me, we'll just answer the two things. Did Steve Jobs pull antics all the fucking time? That's what made him hard to work with.
I'm talking about he never
And
played
two,
with
hold
release
on.
dates.
And two, I think because we gotta look back and see if that's really the truth. Because what I do know is that he would tweak something and want something to be a certain way. Period. Like until it happens and it gets this way, it ain't coming out. It's not gonna be seen because this is like every piece was like his baby. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get fired. This is like, yo, they trying to keep up with him. Like, yo, what, can we just put it out? We want us to do impossible shit. So that's what happens when you are a creator though. The perfectionist, it gets at you so much, the whole perfection shit, that you could never put something out.
I get that. But
And so those other people that he compares himself against, that's how they believe.
But he was always a perfectionist. Yeah. We've never seen him not a perfectionist. Yeah. But it still was way more organized than this, and it still was way more streamlined, it still was way more focused than this. This has seems like it has no focus.
But this is why creators, a lot of times people look at the creators as an individual and forget who are the people that are near or beside the creators. Look at Steve Jobs. You looked at Steve Jobs. It's people that, although he can behave insane and over the top and all that shit, they literally got people that keep this shit organized and keep this shit going and make sure that while he's being a genius, that all the other shit is running smoothly.
So he's not actually going...
Creators need babysitters.
Right, I get that. So he's not actually going crazy. He's just being a creator.
He's being a creator, and I don't know what his team used to look like and compared to what he is now. I think a lot of things have shifted. I think that's the natural kind of thing, that as artists move and go through the time and industry, that their teams change. But yeah. I think one of your questions though earlier was about Kanye being a genius, and I think you were saying, is he still a genius?
Is he still a genius? And I'm just saying that to say, all this shit he been doing lately ain't been panning out. He said, yo, I'm gonna do the 7-song albums. Everybody gonna do a 7-song album, and that 7-song album was trash. And he put out a trash 7-song album. The Life of Pablo.
I'm gonna tell you this, and a lot of people may disagree with me. I don't think we can determine genius by if the person is failing or not.
This is such an interesting take. Please take me down this rabbit hole.
One of your favorite people is Tesla.
Okay.
A lot of people would have said Tesla failed.
A lot.
But later, people find out when they dig deep and they look at what he was doing and say, he was a fucking genius. Mm-hmm. Or some of the people...
Well, hold on. He was, in his time, he had made the front of, I believe, Time magazine.
Didn't he die broke, poor?
That's every single... innovator or revolutionary dies broken.
That's my point. So when you say shit not panning out, that doesn't take away the fact that somebody is a genius. Sometimes when you're a genius and you are a creator, your time is just not
I think that was I definitely believe that was whatchamacallit, I told you died broken poor.
Who?
The one that was hating on Michelangelo, my other man, Da Vinci.
No, it was Tesla. I remember it was Tesla.
Then it's everybody.
So my point is, your time is your time. You cannot be a genius and be extremely successful with what you're doing as an artist, as whatever, because it's your time. Mm-hmm. You come out with the certain things pull together in the universe and next thing you know, you got $1 million You know what I'm saying? Whatever record, a multi-million-dollar record that's out, and you make all this money, and you're not a genius. You're not even
So
that
in that case,
talented.
then everybody is a genius.
No, because that's not how we decide what genius is. That's
So how
my
do we
point.
decide? What I'm saying is, everybody's got a
not
hold
about-
on. Everybody's got a bright idea,
Huh?
and the people who don't pan out, that got the bright ideas, they're nothing. The people who do, they're geniuses.
Who? First
I'm
of
saying
all,
they're
who's-
nothing.
No, hold on. Who's everybody has a bright idea? Why do you think everybody has a bright
Because
idea?
everybody I talk to got an idea that they just need fucking 25,000 to fucking do. Every single person I talk to, like, yo, if I get 25,000.
No. You said they need 25,000 to do it. What's the idea? Because I don't
The
know.
idea is, I can have fucking anything. Everybody got some idea. Yo, I can have fucking windows that you just open with one hand.
I don't talk to nobody, period, none of the time, who actually tell me something that is innovation. That tell me something that I've never heard before. Most people, they just say, yo, if I had $1 million, if I had 20 mil, I would open up a Wendy's, and I would.
You know what I'm talking about. Every single person gotta. I gotta tell people, trademark that, or what you call it when you fucking, I guess, right.
Yeah.
I gotta tell people that like 5 times a month because they always come to me with some idea.
No, and that don't make you genius because you can't. It doesn't make you a genius because you are like, guess what? I just came up with a new cigarette holder. That's not no genius. That's not what genius.
It depends on what the cigarette holder is.
Even
if the cigarette holder grab your cigarette and put it down for you, that's genius.
Okay, we got 2 different ideas of what genius is.
You talking about shit that seemed to come out of the clear blue sky, like it's not related to anything else.
I'm not talking about that. That happens to people all the time. You could be a freaking dumbass person, and literally something come out of nowhere. You could be high and smoking and shit and be like, yo, I just thought of some dope shit, and tell everybody like, yo, that really is dope shit. I'm not talking about that. When I say genius, I'm talking about where what you do literally is a level of mastery that goes beyond what human beings have seen before, have where it's had, like, for example, when you are a runner or something like that, and
you're fast?
Not even just you're fast, but just when you go beyond the expectation, you surpass what we believe we can do as human beings.
Okay.
I
would think that would make you a really good athlete, not a genius.
I wasn't done. Specifically, we're talking about when you do it with your mind. When there's mental things that you can do with your mind that we have never seen done before, and it surpasses what we all think we can do. That's why I said I'm not talking about bright ideas. Like, I just came up with a toe ring that you don't have to put your toe over it or some weird shit. Anyone can do those kind of things. Those things happen all the time. But what I'm talking about, again, when I say genius, is a level of mastery that's beyond human expectation. So, and that to me isn't based on if you fail or not. And the reason why it's not based on it, because sometimes it's just not your time.
What is it based
when
on?
I say it may not just be your time, is because literally, you may not have the funding. Literally, you may not be making the best business deals, so it may never be seen or heard. Literally, you may be sick and become ill, or you're like what happened with Tesla. A lot of stuff was stolen from him and taken from and given to other people, and they got the recognition and the success from that. So that doesn't make you less of a genius. I told you what being a genius is. It's when, if we were all sitting here and you gave us information, whether it be in art or music and literature and film, whatever, mathematics, and it is beyond the expectation of what we consider human ability that we've seen before, that's genius. But it isn't based off of your successes or your failures.
Okay. Okay.
It's geniuses in the hood who ain't never going to go to Yale.
Oh, yeah, of
Because
course.
they haven't had the opportunity. Doesn't mean that the nigga that's at Yale that graduated top of his class is actually a genius. So it's not based off of success and failure.
Okay.
So when we go back to, you were saying, is he still a genius? I guess that would be debatable because I'm not sure if some people believe he ever was a genius.
Well, shout out to Kanye. I think that whenever he drop music, I'm looking forward to it. All the other shit ain't really my concern because in 2005 or 2004 when he came out, I didn't know nothing about none of that shit. All I knew was he got into an accident and he's dope. So all this extra shit, I don't even really be paying no attention to it, really. So, my man,
Fat Joe.
he got into some Twitter and some Instagram backlash, some internet backlash over the fact that, and I'm paraphrasing, it's at quotes. He said something like, what was it?
You tell me it was that he was more black?
Well, I remember him saying himself specifically he was blacker than a black man.
Right.
He said that. I remember that. He said, I'm blacker than a black man. So he said some Latinos or Latinas identify with black culture more than black people. Something to that effect.
Right. Well, you know, I actually have a different perspective than a lot of people because I think that you could definitely identify with a culture and with a race possibly more than somebody of that race.
Yeah, I mean, of course that's true. Like, if I'm fucking really... I moved to China, and I'm, like, when I'm fucking 7, and I'm a real Chinese type boy as far as I'm into everything traditionally Chinese. And then somebody who's Chinese who's into, I don't know, American shit. I'm definitely going to be more Chinese than that person if we talking about culturally, of course.
Right. I feel you, and
But that's not going to be the average person.
I think also the now that I'm looking more into it, while we're speaking about it, that Fat Joe was also trying to speak. He was trying to speak on Black Latinos and how Afro Latinos may be even closer to the motherland than some of the black people that are walking around amongst us, and that's also something I can't argue with. You know, I could see how it could be offensive. That's something I personally would never say out loud. I'm not going to see an Asian man and say I'm more Asian than you. Now, maybe that's not the same because if he's connecting himself with Africa himself and saying like, yo, I'm part of that. Like, we Latinos, but we come from that too. You know what I mean? And I think he may have been connecting it that deep, but I think even on the more surface side of it, or the closer to where we are here in America, I think he's saying in the Bronx, like, we just as black. Like, you know what I mean? It's not really no difference from, that culture and our culture.
Well, in certain parts of the Bronx, from what I hear, it's only black. Like, you don't have no, like, it's people of, Latino people, but what's the politically correct thing to say for, like, Latino is politically correct, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, cool. It's Latino people there, but the neighborhood...
Yeah, you care about the politically correct. Look at you.
Yeah, you see me.
New G Holy
You see
podcast.
me? Nah. Listen, I'm not that bull. I'm definitely raw and uncut, so don't try to paint your little narrative. But I'm saying the culture is so black. I mean, like, your surroundings is so black that you just black. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Bronx is like, I can imagine the places in the Bronx that's black is like Black.
Now, here's what I will say. Me, when I was living in New York, I did not spend much time in the Bronx. That's just that. So I'm not going to speak a lot on the Bronx. But what I did do is I lived in Brooklyn. I was in Brownsville. I was in Crowns Heights. I lived in Bed-Stuy. I was in East Brooklyn. I spent time in Harlem and in Uptown, all, different parts of Midtown and shit like that. Went to school Midtown. When I went to school Midtown, it was like 90%, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and stuff like that. And when I was in Bushwick in Brooklyn, it was a lot of, Spanish people too. And what I realized is some of them, they definitely, this is what I really see. And this is why I'm actually super interested in that Fat Joe said what he said, because what I felt, the energy I felt when I was there, is y'all not no different than us. Y'all dressing like us. We actually, even though it seemed different, we eating the same type of food, really. Like, it's just a little different, but it's the same actual, like, y'all eating rice and chicken. Mm-hmm. And spicy shit. And sodas and juice. And, like, everybody was just all mixed in the culture and what everybody did and listened and the way you dressed. Every single thing, right? But what I also felt is that them people felt different than us, in the sense of that they were connected to their Latino and or Spanish culture, where I wouldn't hear them say they was black. I couldn't imagine none of them saying they was black.
Right.
They would still be like, nah, like, I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, like, I'm not black. That's not something that I've ever seen them feel really comfortable about. And that's why, like, years ago when those girls was, like, moving throughout New York City and they had they, like, Afro-Latina, kind of groups, and they was, like, pushing, like, no, we're African, we black. They was doing that, and it was rebellious to their culture that doesn't like to acknowledge Africa. You know what I'm saying? And how the music and the food and all that shit is African shit. You know what I'm saying? And the religion and stuff like that that mix they add on to it with the what is it called? Santeria.
Yeah.
And all that shit got African roots. They ain't like to admit this shit. And then when I got to, like, going to school in Midtown, and it was like 90% Spanish, I started really seeing how, the Puerto Ricans didn't want you to ever mix them up with a Dominican.
Yep.
And a Dominican didn't ever, God forbid, not that it was as many Mexicans, but God forbid you accidentally called them Mexican or some shit. And then the Brazilians didn't want you to ever mix them up with being a Puerto Rican and or a Dominican. It was like a level, like Mexican at the bottom. It was like Dominican Republic, you know what I'm saying, Puerto Rico, going up Brazil, going up all the way up, and at the very, very, very top was the Spaniards, the freaking Spain people that live in Europe. Like, so the more white you are was at the top, and the darker and more kinky hair and more African you were was at, like, like the Dominicans and shit. That shit was more like at the bottom in New York. It's not really many Mexicans. But I think, too, the other part, I don't want to go on and on about this, but the other part about Puerto Ricans and what I like that they connected to was that a lot of Puerto Ricans is so far in terms of generations of being there that a lot of Spanish people from New York don't really know all their heritage like that.
Right.
They be like, I'm like a little Dominican, a little Puerto Rican, somebody from Honduras, somebody from Trinidad, somebody from this and that, that they don't really be that stuck on the specific regions and places. So they more connect to the fact that they from New York, which is why you got places like, in the, what was that? I think that was in the, I forgot where exactly, but like you got the Nuyorican's Poets Cafe, and that was like playing off the whole Nuyorican, that we ain't Puerto Ricans, we Nuyorican, we New York Ricans, and that kind of included everybody that was like Spanish, that have more of a New York culture than anything else.
Right.
So it was surprising and kind of good that he said what he said, but I could see how I can offend people.
Very true. You looking forward to the 6ix9ine movie?
Hell no. But I want to know why you are.
I think that 6ix9ine is an interesting case. What do you mean? You know why I want to see the 6ix9ine movie? He's a very interesting case. I mean, his come up, his rise to fame was like a year, and then that was it. Like, not even his rise to fame. His rise to fame was like a month, and then he stayed famous for like, and now he turned infamous. And then you got the 9 Trey Bloods. That's a whole nother story in itself of how that came about to where Shotty even got involved with him. Like, of course I would watch that. Who wouldn't watch that?
Because I'm trying to imagine what it's visually going to look at. They're going to try to, because it's the story is going to be based off of whoever makes the story, their idea and vision of him.
Yeah.
So is he going to be corny? They're going to be like, oh, let's find someone who make him act like a clown. And let's see him act like a clown so that the audience could get, oh, this is a clown. Now have him troll and show how he was like doing stupid shit. Like, and I think if it's not done correctly, we won't see the fact that 6ix9ine was very, from what I've seen, intelligent and layered, and he still is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he would troll and be be entertaining online, but I always felt like it wasn't the way people try to make that shit seem. Like, the way they kind of go off on 6ix9ine about his trolling and shit, I think it'd be a little extreme and shit. Like, the way they kind of look at it, like, as if he was picking fights with people, or he was just, just kind of going off an extreme. And it's like, he was a little extra, but he wasn't retarded. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's like how when we seen Pac in the Biggie movie, I was like, what? This is the vision of the people that want this person to come off like that. And then you got the whole Treyway situation. Is it going to be corny like how we was watching Barbershop and they tried to have the Chicago gangs and there was some weird shit that looked crazy? That's what I'm saying. What are we? Is this going to be a VH1 movie? Like, who's doing this movie? Like, you know what I mean?
No clue.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't like these type of movies because I already know I ain't going. There's gonna be some weird shit.
I'm watching that shit as soon as it comes out.
Biopic, and yeah. But what I will say is this is definitely not it for 6ix9ine, and I think I'm not gonna say this is the beginning because it ain't the beginning, but I think this is the middle. It ain't over.
I think everybody who thought he wouldn't have a career is now saying, you know what, it could happen.
Of course. But you know what? I be trying to figure out how other people think because I be thinking differently about shit. I think you too. Like when people told me, yo, you really think Donald Trump could win? You really think he could even you really think that shit? I'm like, yeah, he gonna win. Mm-hmm. I was told I was crazy.
And then what?
And then he won and people looked at me and was like, oh, I can't believe that. And then I get called these other names. But you know what? I know we said we would never talk about politics, but I actually want to talk about a conversation with when we talking about Candace. What's her name? Candace Owens. I want to talk about some of her political statements, the politics.
Well, what did she say that you're speaking on?
Well, just being a conservative black person, and I feel like when you're a conservative black person, people hate that shit. People really hate that shit because we've been programmed to think that conservative views means that you are against anyone who's struggling or poor or who's on welfare, that you like against the people. You know what I'm saying? Or that you're white or that you want to be white and shit like that. We group people as soon as somebody say that, like, oh, I'm a Republican, it's like, oh, you the fucking devil. And if somebody say they're a Democrat, oh, you're an angel and you probably going to help. Right. And it's like, that shit don't mean, none of that shit means nothing. People are individuals. We got to respect them and such. And even if they consider themselves be more of this than that, I think we deserve it. They deserve being heard. Mm-hmm. And what I hear from black conservatives, I fall more in line with that, connected to some of those perspectives, and people think you crazy, man.
Facts. I'm looking forward to a lot of movies that's gonna come out with stuff that's dealing with things that's going on today. Because like I think Bobby Smurder and them, I think that fall in the same pot as this whole thing. I think that the BMF story is getting told by 50 Cent.
Yes.
I think a lot of these stories, because a lot of times we glorify, like, not glorify, but we always take it back to, Paid in Full was in the 80s. They glorify the mobsters from the 30s, or just not to glorify them, but depict them, a lot of stuff that was going on in the 70s. So I think the fact that we could churn them out now while they still hot, where we don't got to go do like a Cadillac Records type of thing where we watching a movie about some stuff that happened before a time that we even knew about. Like, we can see it in the time that it's happening. I think it's dope. That's why I like the NWA movie. I think it was like still within that time frame. So yeah.
Now, you know what? So this is when we talk about this. It just has me think about how many rappers in this generation, or this time period, where it feels like they came on so quickly and then boom, they out of here. And I don't mean out of here like the regular out of here, where usually, somebody come out, it's a hot song and then they get dropped and da-da-da, label. No, I'm talking about like they dead and they in prison.
Yeah.
And these is young ass people. I mean, we seen it a lot of time in hip hop where somebody has a lot of potential and then they in prison and the shit don't work out. No, this shit is happening overnight. These is like overnight rappers and then overnight stories that end the next night. Mm-hmm. Especially with these niggas from like Chicago and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But is the internet to blame? Is it happening that quick because of the internet?
That's what happened.
Where they hear and their story is tragic and they go and they in prison the next day, because a lot of these cases, when you look at them, I say that to say the internet is involved. They was trolling, they was on live with their weapons and their guns. They was a lot of the beefs they had back and forth. The police was able to look at what was going on with the streets, because everything that's happening in the streets is online. Mm-hmm. It's in the internet. Everybody's talking about it. It's no longer what's the word on the street. That shit is dead. Mm-hmm. It's what's the word that's online on the gram in whatever kind of comment section of what's actually happening with murders and all this shit. Yep. So it's like, I kind of feel like some of these rappers would be here a little longer if it wasn't for the internet.
I don't know if you can blame it. I think the internet is just doing what it does, though. Like, I think the way it aids in what you're talking about is just the fact that it helps people get on way faster than they actually probably ready for.
Yeah, but it also is a part of ending them a lot quicker, because the internet promotes and rewards bad behavior. So niggas is doing bad behavior and showing off the bad behavior online. They going viral for making songs about murders and showing certain things they not supposed to show online and shit like that. They going viral from that. Like, it's rewarding the behavior, but in real life, ending in prison.
Yeah. Right. So moving on to our last topic. Which one you want to get into?
Let's talk about we was talking about the whole is there a right way to break up with somebody?
The right way to break up with somebody, and this is very important, so y'all gotta listen up. Take notes, get a pen. The right way to break up with somebody is text message. No, for real. I don't know the right way to break up with somebody, but I do know the wrong way. Don't break up with somebody at your house. You're going to break up with them, don't break up with them at your house, because they're going to break all your stuff up.
Even if they don't break your shit up, imagine them all emotional and crying, and you ready for them to leave, but they not leaving. They just, like, want to be held to talk to you some more about the shit, and you trying to get them out the door. Like,
break up with them at Starbucks.
Right. Listen, I say... Well, let me say this first. I don't like when people try to break up with somebody by doing the little what's that thing where they just kind of slowly disappear on you?
I think it's called the slow fade. I don't know.
Yeah, the slow fade. I don't like that shit. That's fucked up. If you had something real with me, just let me know what it is, and so I could go about my business, you go about your business. Because how you gonna care about somebody at one point, you realize they not right for you, and you just try to say, oh, I think they're gonna get the hint if I just, tell them I'm busy or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that I think just be responsible, man. Just be straight up and be like, yo. But like you said, definitely not at your house. I don't know even about they house, because you don't want to be. Honestly, I'm what you said initially. Just do that shit via text, bro. No, because you know what? The person deserves a conversation.
Listen, the person do deserve a conversation. I just think we should go into the conversation maybe what you already know in the tone of the conversation. Like, don't hit me talking about let's talk. I don't like that. So I wouldn't want nobody to just hit me and be like, yo, we gotta talk.
Just call the person. Is this a good?
We gotta talk.
No, is this a good time? Yeah, and be like, I really feel like we not right for each other. Like, this shit gotta come to an end, cause like da 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 da, and get your reasons, get them time to talk, to say how they feel, whatever, and just let it be that, and then be careful when you try to leave the house for the next couple of days.
Fact. I don't think it's the right way, because I done did it where, I faded away. Like, all right, look, I broke up with the same girl twice, right? One time I did it, and I just did the fade away, right? And she said that was like some bitch ass shit. So the next time I did it, I went over her house, and I told her to her face, hey, it's not working. And she still said that was some bitch ass shit. So I don't know if it's the right way to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know what?
The person that's heartbroken is never gonna think that.
You know what would be nice? Send me a fucking self-care basket. Send me a big ass basket with a messenger that has some my favorite desserts. You know what I'm saying? A note, some flowers, and a gift, a goodbye gift, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Dead ass. Send that to me.
You might be on to something. That shit sound kind of dope. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, because and then a note, a note where you write like a 5-page note, and you tell them you're beautiful, you're amazing. This is our relationship. Remember, we had this, da 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 da. But this is why I feel like this has come to an end. I want you to give yourself some time and some space before we talk about it. Just heal, just talk, whatever. But I got you some champagne. Look, I got you some champagne for your girlfriends. I got you some sweets. I know these are things you love. I got you a couple gifts. For your
girlfriends? Hold on. So why the guy got to be breaking up with the girl?
I'm telling you how to do it for a girl right now.
Okay.
Now, you send her those things. When she gets those things, she's going to start crying when she's reading the letters. Then she's going to have champagne. She's going to call her girls over. She's going to start eating because she's emotional. Most of us emotional eaters. And she's going to be like, wow, this is such a nice guy. Like, he's such a good guy. Like, I don't agree with he broke up with me, but he's right. I do need to get myself together. Give me 3-4 days so I'll call him. And the girl's going to say, yeah, don't call him yet. Now, if you the girl and you doing it to the guy, the same thing. Get him a care package. Get him some nice soaps. Get him don't get him cologne, because you don't want that nigga smelling.
Give him some 5-pound weights, because you're going to want to get in shape once you break up with him.
Yeah, and he going to be like, should she leave me because I ain't in shape? That's why she sent me the weight. No, send him. All you got to do, matter of fact, dudes is simple. You don't need to do all of that. All you got to do is send him most of y'all with regular niggas, send him some hot wings. Okay, or some send him a big bowl, a big thing of hot wings.
Some brand new Jordans.
No, you're not saying, you don't want that nigga to have you walking around with some Jordans and shit that you, no.
Why the fuck you care?
No, exactly, but you do. Just send him some hot wings and a note that say you are cool.
Up. You got champagne and flowers and cookies and candy, and you talking about niggas want hot wings and notes. We like fucking cake.
Yo, send that nigga some hot wings and a note and shit. And you know what I'm saying? You might Yeah, don't send him nothing else.
You might be on to something, but
And when you send that shit, send him a note and say, yo, you a cool nigga, but you not right for me, da-da-da-da, and let that shit go. Move on, bro. But I'm on to something.
you definitely on to something. But that's our time, man. Love and culture, a couple cast. I'm G Holy.
I'm Yasin Toure.
All right, we out. Love you, baby.
Love you too.